Hey friends, tickets are now available for our new series of live workshops taking place in November and December. They're focused on getting coffee professionals and small business owners better prepared for 2023. There's one for coffee professionals, one for those looking to start or grow their business as a coffee consultant, and there's one for customer acquisition planning that's tailored to small business owners. Go to mapitforward.coffee/events to grab tickets or check the show notes for details. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Pro by Map It Forward, friends. I'm your host, Lee Safar, and welcome to I guess this is a new tradition, given that it's the second time we've done it, but I'm joined by our Map It Forward Middle East podcast, Sara Alali. Welcome to the Swapcast, Sara.
Hello again, Lee.
So I think that we're going to make this a tradition every year. So we did it last year. The last series for the English version of the podcast is going to always be our Swapcast. But because the year runs differently in the Middle East, this won't be the end of, this is the beginning of your new season, which is out now. Everyone go and check it out. But it's in Arabic. So we're going to talk about something that kind of connects to our last Swapcast, because the last time we did the Swapcast, you hadn't opened your cafe yet. Now it's been running for almost a year, and oh my gosh, what a year it's been for everybody.
Yeah, I can't imagine 1 year now.
Oh, it's crazy.
From the last time we talked and we had the Swapcast.
We're both very different people since then. We've both been through a lot since then. And in this episode, in this series, it's going to be a 5-part series. What we're going to talk about is what no one tells you about opening a cafe. And this is going to be a really interesting discussion as we explore this. As everyone knows, you're the co-owner. You're the founder and co-owner of that cafe in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And you are the host of the Daily Coffee Pro Middle East, or the Map It Forward Middle East podcast. And you have entered competitions and finals in world competitions in coffee and all that kind of stuff. You're also an SCA trainer, etc., etc. So you're a well-seasoned coffee professional. The newest thing that you were adding to your belt was becoming a cafe owner for sort of the second time, because you had a pop-up. But this was your first big brick and mortar actual cafe. And is it safe to say that you learnt a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm suspecting that's an understatement, right?
Yeah. It's been a long, it feels like it's only 2 minutes, but I don't know how 1 year just passed. And of course, I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot. It's different from having a pop-up than having an actual, location. And it's also different than before the pandemic and after the pandemic.
Yeah, amazing.
Totally different. I don't know how it would be. Let's say we didn't have the pandemic. I don't know how would my experience be. But we're going to share what I experiencing now after the pandemic.
So in today's episode, the first of 5, we're going to talk about what challenges you did expect. And in the next episode, we're going to talk about the challenges that you didn't expect. So, Sara, you opened in January of 2022, but you started the process of getting this cafe ready before the pandemic happened. So I suspect one of the things that you didn't expect was the pandemic.
Yeah, totally. No one expected the pandemic.
No, but talk to us about what that was like when you know that you're getting ready to start this project. You haven't really started the process of building it out yet, and then a pandemic hits.
Yeah.
What was that like for you?
I thought, like at the beginning, I was worried about how I'm gonna open this cafe and how it's gonna look like, and what is the menu and what we're gonna serve people. And then when the pandemic hit, I'm worried about other things, like, are we gonna actually open? Are
Oh,
we
wow.
gonna have the cafe? And what's gonna happen? Like, how we're gonna survive? So because the whole landscape has changed, from before the pandemic until after the pandemic. And for me, honestly, I thought it's because I had the experience with the pop-up. So what I had in mind, that it's gonna be like the pop-up but on a bigger scale. So yeah, like I knew the details, and I know that the different components that will make a cafe, and what I need. Like, I will need more effort, more time, and to be there on a daily basis and give it more. But I didn't expect that the pandemic is gonna happen, and it happened.
What else didn't you expect? Sorry, no. Yeah. I think we're doing it the other way around than we expected. But
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but keep going. What else didn't you expect?
Actually, I didn't expect that I will be exhausted even before opening the cafe. I was already exhausted. So
because
for
of
me,
the pandemic?
Many things, like the pandemic. It took longer than expected to build, and this is something that I didn't expect. Like, I knew that they might, like the builder might go overdo 2 months, 3 months, but not 1 year. It was 1 year.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect having issues in the supply chain. And we were expecting the packaging 8 weeks. It came after 8 months. And all of these, also the extra expenses. We had in Saudi an increase in VAT to 15%. So it's
Sales
an increase
tax.
of 10. Yeah. 10% from before the pandemic. So all of these, like, exhausted financially, mentally, physically,
emotionally.
Yeah, emotionally. So I literally opened the door and I was exhausted.
Yeah. I worked very closely with you during that time, and I know that when we started the process of working together, and I just want to say, working with you to get that happening was one of the greatest honors of my life. I have to tell you.
Alhamdulillah.
I said this in our last Swapcast. I rarely meet people who do what they say they're going to do, and do it with the kind of intention that you put into doing this. You put all of yourself into getting this open in a time where you could have very easily turned around and said, you know what, this is too hard. And you would have been well within your right when you had so many things pushing up against you. And I was with you every day, watching you get, every time something would start to go right, another thing would show up to make it go wrong.
A million other things
will
happen. Yeah.
So when we were talking in the last Swapcast, you were saying how, and we were talking about how kind of exciting it was, even though things were exhausting. And surely in inverted commas, things are going to get easier because the hard work is done now when we open the door. So even if we're exhausted, that's fine, because now we get to do the fun part. We get to serve customers. We get to, make great coffee. We get to share everything. That's what we expected. What happened that we didn't expect?
I told you, we always discussed this, and I told you that it kind of took from the joy of like I had a great passion for coffee, and it stole some of the joy of being in coffee and learning about coffee. So my job is not anymore to learn about coffee. It's more about how to serve the customers better, how to manage the team, how to manage the cafe. So it was taking from my soul more than I thought. And this is what I didn't expect. Like I thought, I know that I have to put effort and time, but I didn't expect that it's stealing from my soul.
Yeah, and for anyone who's listening, like I want to make sure that we're really clear on the fact that we're not saying don't do this. What we're saying is manage your expectations of why you're doing this and understand what it's going to take from you. You know, today we're recording this a couple of weeks before it comes out, and today we did the Barista and Beyond workshop. And a part of that workshop is helping kind of baristas understand what they want to do long term, not just baristas, but coffee professionals in general. And something I say to all of them, and all the baristas that I mentor and the coffee roasters that I mentor, think twice about turning your passion into a business. Because if you're passionate about coffee, then you should be doing coffee. If you open a business, you should do it because you're passionate about business. If you don't have a passion for business when you open a cafe or a coffee roastery, you can sometimes misread what you're going to be doing during the day. Because if you open a cafe and your passion is being a barista, and this is why I never opened a cafe, you'll never get to be a barista in your own cafe. You won't have the time. You're managing so many other things. Was that your experience, Sara?
Yeah, exactly. And this is why I wanted to open a cafe. So I will be a barista there and I will serve people because I really like hospitality. And no, it turned out to be something else. Like you will be overwhelmed with all the, the tasks you have as a manager and with the business and the taxes and all of the paperwork. And then when you want to serve people, you're already exhausted.
Yeah, and you're thinking about a million things all at the same time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
also like this is one thing that I want to add. Like I didn't expect people coming to me and starting giving me consultations, just and unsolicited advice, and I was like standing there, wow, like this is a business and people coming in and just out of nowhere, they're telling me how to run the cafe and what should I put on the menu and you know what I mean. And
oh
it's
my
like,
God,
wow.
I so know what you mean. I didn't expect people to come to me to give me consultation about how to consult you.
Yeah.
I mean, my mind was blown when people would say to me, Lee, I know that you're a consultant for Sara, and I think that you should advise her to do this and to do this and to do this and to do this. I'm like, what is going on? I did not expect that would be the case. I thought that people would know how to talk to you directly, especially if they knew you.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild. So instead of in the next episode talking about what you did expect, I'm going to ask you the question now. What did you expect that was going to be challenging about this?
As I said in the beginning of the episode that I need to put more effort and time, and it's going to take a long time, at least the first year. It's like a baby that you have to take care of until it can walk and he or she can walk. And this is what I expected. I expected that I'm gonna have challenges and I will need to find solutions for many problems that will arise during operation and on the long run. like with the business. But this is what I had in mind of a business, and I will learn new things. And this is what happened.
Something that I thought was really interesting is that you were opening a cafe in an environment and in a market that's experiencing an extraordinary amount of social change.
Yeah, and in Saudi, like it's this is something that I didn't expect as well, is that we are having like social reform and economic reform in Saudi, and the landscape is changing completely, and it's something for my benefit and the benefit of all Saudis. And because, a long time ago, especially when I had the pop-up, it was very challenging to have a pop-up as a woman.
Right.
And I used to have the skills but not the opportunities. Like, I need to go chase the opportunities. Now I have the skills and I have the opportunities offered to me. So this is what changed from the pop-up to the actual cafe.
I think what we should talk about in that period.
Yeah.
I think what we should talk about in the next episode is what's the difference between having a pop-up and having an actual cafe. What do you reckon? Let's do it. Okay.
Yeah,
Peace, love, and peanut butter, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for tuning in, friends. There are 2 ways you can support this podcast. Firstly, become a paid member of our YouTube channel. Secondly, you can join our Patreon for as little as $3 a month. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video before you leave, and check the show notes for more information. Now, this is what you should check out next.